What's going on, y'all? I want to share some ideas and thoughts on this journey, on my journey of self development and evolution in this life, and just how much magic there is in this world and within our own selves. Really been working towards healing, towards transformation, alchemizing the old and moving it into something new, a new version of self, a higher version of self, a higher timeline. And I could tell you about the steps I've taken and the setbacks and the triumphs and all of this, but really what I want to share with you is that the scariest thing about becoming the best version of yourself is the fear of your own power. And I never understood what this meant until I really stepped into it and then self-sabotage to live the old lifestyle, the old habits, the old ways of being. Because what it feels like is it feels like you grow up, you have these programs, these conditionings that are imprinted on your mindset, on your reality, on what you think reality is, or what your potential can be. And it's like you are placed in this pit of ancestral and almost a lineage of certain patterns are passed down to you, right? And it's you being placed in this pit energetically, vibrationally, spiritually, whatever you want to put it as, or however you want to see it. And when you start this journey of self-development, you start to build yourself a ladder out of this pit and you start to climb, right? You take the steps, you take the action, you reframe your mindset, you reframe your self-concept, you journal, you meditate, whatever it is, right? You're climbing out of this ladder. You're climbing out of this ladder. Each ring of the ladder, I guess you would call it, is getting you closer and closer until you're eventually on solid ground outside of the pit at all. The pit's not even, you're not even in there anymore, right? And as soon as you step onto solid ground, as soon as you realize, oh my gosh, I am so much more than these programs, these conditionings, these stories I tell myself, or these illusions I once believed. As soon as you step outside of that, it feels like everything is opened up so much so that it can be overwhelming. It can really be overwhelming to realize how much potential and infinite possibility there is in yourself and the world outside of yourself. And that's when it seems like there is what I would call these energetic or emotional purges, releases that need to take place. Because what happens is you get out of this pit, you climb out, and you see that you're on solid ground and that the entire world is open to you. You could take this action, it leads down this road. You could take that action, it leads down that one. You can climb back in the pit, you can move in a whole different direction. You can do anything. It's all up to you because you are the main character. That's what it really is about, is that the pit is the limitations and the solid ground is when you step into the main character of your life and the leader of your life, and realizing that nobody else can really dictate or tell you what to do or where to go or how to do it. But the comfort of believing those things is that is true, is, like I said, comfortable, is familiar, is what you're used to. So getting outside of that and realizing it's all on me, everything is on me to decide how I want to live, it can become scary. It can become something you didn't realize you were fearing at the beginning because you were pushing yourself out of the pit because you didn't like it. You didn't like how you felt. You didn't like how you were treated, you didn't like these patterns you kept repeating. But it's even scarier when you're in the unknown. The unknown is the scariest thing to human beings on a very primal level. And it feels like I've finally been climbing out of this pit once again after falling into it, climbing out, falling into it, climbing out. And so there's been this ping pong match almost, or this teeter-totter of stepping into my powers and then going back into a victim mentality, or main character mode and then limitation mode, or whatever you want to put it as. And it's like this game of unknown and known, unknown, known. And I will tell you this, is that in the unknown is where all the magic of life lies. In the known and the familiar is where whatever you've been used to lies. So it's a matter of, do you want the magic? Do you want the experience of what it is you truly desire to take place and manifest and unfold? Or do you want what you've always been getting? And how much is the pain of getting what you've always got compared to the pain of getting something you truly want, even if it means risking your old version of self, even if it means risking what you once thought of yourself, or what you once knew, or what you even thought of reality or life itself. There's a lot of internal turmoil that goes on, and it's all through these feeling states. It's all through these signals that your body will even send you, being like, hey, this is not safe, I am uncomfortable here, this is not what I'm used to, abort, 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 go back to an old pattern, use an old vice, go to old people, whatever the thing is that's going to abort you or retreat to some old thing, is what your body and your emotions and everything in your cells are telling you, hey, let's go back, let's go back. But when that happens, it's like a radar, it's like a signal goes off telling you, okay, this is the moment. I can either break through this ceiling, or I can climb back down the ladder, or even sometimes just full on fall down the ladder if you really are self-sabotaging, right? And this whole thing of thinking things through vibrationally and energetically and emotionally has been the biggest turning point in this entire game of self-evolution. Because I've been thinking, okay, these goals are what I need to do to move my life forward. Okay, these tasks, these errands, these whatever. And I've been, moving myself and moving the needle forward on these things. But yet, it's always when this moment arises where I'm in such an unknown state of being and energy, and things are flowing in a different way. And mind you, they're flowing in a much better way, a much healthier way, a much more positive way. But because even though those positive emotions and feelings and states are what they are, they're still unfamiliar and uncomfortable and scary, which is so counterintuitive when we think about what we want in life and moving towards it. And we want the money, we want the women, we want the car, we want the house, we want the whatever. And yet a part of us is so fearful of even stepping foot into a place of where that exists, or has the potential to exist, that we just shoot ourselves in the foot. And we limp back to where we once came from, and then heal up again, and then eventually we push ourselves back to moving forward towards it. But if we don't have the right mindset or framework or idea of how to really break through the ceiling, the glass ceiling, once and for all, and there are many of them, there are many glass ceilings over and over and over, and there is a never-ending amount of them, so long as you want to keep accelerating and moving and advancing farther and farther and farther into the highest version of yourself ultimately. A version of yourself that once you are embodying, looking back at where you are at in the past, will be two completely different people, two completely different realities, two completely different energetic imprints that are left on this world once those people or versions pass, right? One of them living this way, one of them living another way, and the impact, the imprint, the experience you have of embodying that version and others have of receiving that embodied version are two different things. So with this purging, right, this is where the real meat and potatoes of this video is, and it's about purging through when these come up and having the tools and the tactics and the techniques to do so. For me, it's been going into nature. If you have nature around you, use that as a resource, as a tool to go into, to gain clarity, to find silence, to find stillness while you're experiencing this inner havoc, you know, emotionally. Like, why do I want to go to these old habits that I know aren't good for me? And why do I want to hit up these people that I know are going to just bring me down vibrationally? Why do I want to, you know, make these decisions that I know aren't going to be good for me a week later, but are going to feel good for an hour or two now? It's like, what is going to help me through those thoughts that pop up? Well, okay, going into nature, one, crying, straight up just crying. And it sounds like, for the guys, like, go into somewhere you can just like be alone and you're not going to be like looked at any different way afterwards. Because if you, crying is a technology, y'all. Crying is a technology for your body to release emotion, and if you don't understand that, then you're going to have a hard time moving towards the life you actually really want. Because what it is that when your old version of self is getting really upset or scared or fearful, and this inner child is not knowing what to do, it needs to be comforted by your parent, by your inner parent. There's an inner child and there's an inner parent, and your current version of self is the parent that is going to comfort, to soothe, to aid in the inner child's evolution of stepping out of the old and into the new, into the unknown, into what it's scared of and is having such a reaction to. So realizing that there are versions and there are compartments of your psyche that can help the other one out. If the parent, the higher version of you, the adult version of you, can help out the inner child version of you, the one that's feeling a certain way, then do so. Go to the forest, go cry, go connect with Mother Earth, go put your feet on the ground, go, you know, not just feet on the ground, but bare feet in the soil, in the earth, you know, grounding. Um, you know, like, how would I put it? Like, scream therapy, y'all. Like, actually, that helps. Going in your car and no music, no nothing, just scream your heart out, scream your entire lungs out until there ain't no breath left, and then do it 5 times over again. That's gonna help you purge out those emotions that are bottling up and trying to be suppressed or stifled or numbed when you're going through this evolution of self, right? So yeah, scream therapy, obviously when you're alone or whatever, crying, because it's a technology that's going to help you get out of these emotions and purge them out. It's literally purging out. Um, Nature, just go, just walk in nature. That'll even do it there. That'll even just help you there. You'll connect with the trees, the energy of the forest, whatever, right? Um, and then even, you know, sometimes with mushrooms and things helps you get a new perspective on what you're going through, um, and shifts your mentality a bit, and kind of energetically and emotionally can kind of pivot you to see where you're standing from a different vantage point, especially. um, so yeah, that's all I really got for you guys. Thank you for watching, and stay grateful.